Utilities are going through a profound change. In energy, it used to be a largely centralized system where there were large polluting providers creating energy and then distributing it to lots of consumers. Now we are moving to a more decentralized system in renewables where there are lots of producers and consumers and bidirectional flow of power and information. And that is not just in energy that the change is there. In water, for example, we know in UK we could run out of water in 30 years. So now we need to engage customers to reduce consumption of water. So there is a profound period of change for utilities. There's a lot of talk about building physical assets, whether that is solar farms, wind farms, and in case of water, reservoirs or putting in new pipes, etc. What is often not talked about enough or underappreciated is the software part of it. For example, in a distributed energy system which had millions of EVs, heat pumps, solar panels, etc., a grid cannot be balanced if there is not really modern software that allows it to be balanced. For utilities to be successful in this transition, they need to dramatically update their software. Many utilities find this upgrade of software capabilities challenging because they are probably some of the oldest companies on the planet who have had technology that was deployed 50 years ago, 30 years ago. I see three key challenges usually with these legacy technologies. One is around data, ability to ingest vast amounts of data in real time and process it. The second challenge that I see is the ability to innovate fast and efficiently. And then the third challenge that I see is around data protection and managing cyber risk. So we have at Kraken created the software for utilities that takes care of all these problems. We think of it as an operating system for utilities, which is AI enabled. Like in smartphones, we have created some of the core applications an utility would like. So for example, we have an application for CRM and billing. We have an application for asset management. We have an application for field force management. Just like operating system for smartphones allow you to create new apps for new situations, our system also allows our utilities and our partner network to create custom apps. Say if there is a new EV being added and you wanted to add a new feature to it or a tariff to it, we could actually do it through a custom app. If you wanted to do a new loyalty program and you wanted to build something which is completely new, you could create a new custom app for that. And that would be completely impossible for a legacy system to be able to do. One of our core apps is Kraken Customer, which is essentially the CRM and billing app, which helps utilities provide offers to customers and be able to bill them correctly and to serve them correctly, which is very core to being able to engage customers in this renewables ecosystem. Typically, you will see a utility provider using a legacy system. When a customer calls the agent usually has to go through 15 to 20 screens of different systems to be able to serve the customer, which is why most utilities have such slow and bad customer experience. Whereas if you were to call any of our customers, whether it's Octopus Energy, EDF or Eon in the UK, you will find that they provide great customer experience because the agents who are actually using the system have all the information about the customer, their bills, their EVs and their heat pumps or their solar panels all in one place. And they are able to serve them quickly and efficiently. Similarly, if you were to launch a new offer, in a legacy system, sometimes it can take anywhere between 3 to 6 months to launch a new tariff or a new plan. Whereas on Kraken, it actually takes you much longer to think about what you want to do than to do it on software. You could launch a new tariff in less than a minute. The second core app that we have is around asset management. And why is it so core that we build it ourselves? It's because in this renewable ecosystem or in water or in broadband, the proliferation of new devices and the ability to monitor them, the ability to optimize them is very core, right? So we have built a platform that is able to ingest billions and trillions of data points in real time be able to use that information to create monitoring reports, optimization functions, etc., and be able to communicate with customers on it. Whereas if you were to look at a legacy utility, most of this software was written to manage the hardware, large assets where they had control rooms, where engineers were sitting and tweaking certain things to optimize the asset. But that's no longer possible because there are now gazillions of assets. Some of them are at customers' premises, some of them are under the ground. And it has to be a software that can actually ingest all of this in real time, be able to process that efficiently, and then be able to put optimization on top of it, which was not possible in any of the legacy systems. The third core app is Kraken Field, and it is core because it essentially helps us make sure that from CRM to billing to assets and then managing and maintaining the asset is all possible on the Kraken platform. Kraken Field essentially helps decide whether or not an engineer is required to manage and maintain an asset, and if it is required, then be able to dispatch the right engineer with the right tools, with the right spare parts to the asset for doing it as the most efficient manner. These core apps don't work in isolation, they enhance each other. Now, for example, if you were to take the case of a broadband router or a Wi-Fi not working at a customer premise, today, if you had both Kraken CRM and Field, at CRM, if the customer were to call in, there is an app that allows the agent on the phone to be able to see the Wi-Fi coverage for the customer as he walks around his house. And if the agent is able to fix it, or through AI be able to fix it, then an engineer is not need to be dispatched, which could also increase the efficiencies quite considerably. So if you multiply it to the decentralized model that I was referring to earlier, that is millions of assets, and the efficiencies quite quickly add up. Octopus Energy Group and Kraken, by default, were founded in 2016 by two British tech entrepreneurs, Greg Jackson and James Edison. Kraken emerged out of the frustration of these founders with the experience they had with the utility companies and their belief that they could build software that could not only be great for customer experience but would also help save the planet. Fast forward now to 2024, we are now in 17 markets, growing almost every month. We have about 54 million customers contracted on the platform. We have leading market shares in UK, in Australia, and soon in Japan, and in multiple other countries. Last 2 years ago, we started in water, and we have probably about 20% of the UK water market now on Kraken, and we soon hope to do that in broadband as well. We have built probably one of the strongest teams globally who are centered on building software that helps the planet. While we have now teams spread around the globe, the core of that is still centered in and around London. We are also a British success story because our customers, whether it's Octopus Energy or others, have been able to use Kraken to completely redefine and reset the expectation customers can have out of their utility providers. We have not only are exporting software, but the fact that customers can actually get a much better experience from their utility and get innovation from their utilities is also something that we are exporting elsewhere globally.